Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel and to FS25. For today's video, I need to do something off, off. Let's go 100%. So, today we are going to go around and talk to all of the talking NPCs. So, of course, we have to start with Grandpa Walter. Start conversation.
What's up, kiddo?
We're gonna let's do all these.
Right now, there's nothing to do. Maybe check with your neighbors. A couple of people in town can help you, kiddo. We have experts on agriculture, animal husbandry, and forestry. What do you need help with? Sure, kiddo. Although your old grandpa may not be up to date with some things and how they are done today. Talk to my good old helper Ben. He will explain the basics in detail. Ben's a rather quiet fellow. He hasn't much to say, except if you ask him about farming. He's been around for over 3 decades to help out whenever needed. He's deeply rooted in the town and has never left the region. Back in the day, he wanted to have his own farm, but it never happened. Instead, he was the greatest farmhand we could wish for, a good helper that got stuck on our fields. For over 35 years, no less. Now he's getting older too, and became more of a theorist you can ask if you want to know about farming basics. But don't expect him to go into detail if you're in the mood to discuss agriculture in depth like a scientist. A couple of people talk to Katie, our local animal farmer. She's a very nice person, competent, charismatic. She can tell you about different kinds of livestock. She's a trader too, if you think about starting animal husbandry. She is one smart woman, hands-on mentality and not shy with the animals or the townsfolk. Most of the time, she's just very chipper, if you don't give her a reason to be anything else. Traveled a lot, learned a lot of farming in other countries, and always got an anecdote to share. I don't get her jokes all the time, but I can't keep up with the humor of the young folks sometimes. I see a couple of go to Noah, our local lumberjack. He is a kind soul, even though he seems a bit grumpy. He can tell you about forestry and some of his woodworking projects. He likes to talk about what he's passionate about. You could call him strange, but in a good way. Don't be discouraged to ask him about forestry because of his moody personality. If you listen to him talking about his family, which is very dear to him, you could mistake him for a grouch. He is not, I can assure you. He is just not that big of a people person when it comes to small talk. Except if he gets the opportunity to talk about one of his wood carving projects. But they are peculiar. Sure. Let me tell you something then. Before I forget, I just spoke to your great uncle on the phone. I always tend to forget what we talked about right after I hang up. Probably because he talks so much with his crazy ideas. But this one sticks. Listen to this. He wants to start a mobile petting zoo. The thing is, it could actually work if done right. Others do it. They visit hospitals, kindergartens, birthday parties, retirement homes. Rabbits, goats, even horses or a cow could be popular to pet. Most critical are the logistics and the health of the animals. I have no doubt your uncle does care a great deal about the well-being of the animals. He always did that. Never hurt a fly in his life. One time, when you stepped on a snail, he was weeping. I mean, that was actually on his 50th birthday. Really dampened the mood. Right, so his idea for the mobile petting zoo was quite specific. He wants to drive chickens to the beach and let them out for people to pet. He announced last year he wanted to spend more time on the beach at his age. Also, he complains that most hotels don't have a proper egg quality to offer at their buffets. In addition, he likes bringing people joy like that. That's how this idea came to be. But when I noted it might always be a bit stressful for the chickens, he went to Katie, our local animal farmer. Apparently, he tried to buy dozens of chickens from her, but she's one smart lady and told him the same thing as I did. In the end, he also disliked the thought of searching for his breakfast on the beach. Me too. But my brother is a handful, I tell you. It's time to get back to farming now. Sure. Don't confuse your pops with a wise man. I know some things, though. Remember, one bad harvest does not define you as a farmer, just as one twister does not define a season. What is your takeaway from that, kiddo? My dear father always asked four things of me: prepare for what you know, ask for what you don't, remain steadfast in the face of challenges, learn from mistakes and get over them, and to constantly train all of this forever. This is my advice to you too. Start training this early with every opportunity you get. Approach everything in life like that, not just farming. You will lead a better life.
Alright, there's what we're gonna go through with Walter. If we sit here and go through every single option, this video is gonna be 2 hours long because we have other NPCs to get to as well. So, there's Walter. Can I turn off? Okay, let's go visit Ben.
Look who we have here. Last time I saw you, you were playing in cow dung. Remember me? I'm Ben. Some call me by my nickname, Helper B. You know, I've been helping your old grandpa for well over 3 decades now. Walter hired me as a helper some 35 years ago. I was still fresh and couldn't drive a plow straight around the corner of an odd-shaped field. He showed me everything back then. It didn't take long before your grandparents couldn't live without me. He and his wife welcomed me to the family, and I became part of the farm. Did I want to run my own farm when I was young? Yes, I did. But that never happened. Doesn't matter, though. In a way, you could say I got stuck here. But I tell you what, that's the best thing that ever happened to me. I don't have to travel the world and reinvent myself all the time. That just sounds exhausting. Exactly. I know what makes me happy, and that's this farm right here. I'm not leaving. Ever. And you know, Walter has been a great boss and mentor to me. But let's get back to the present. I'm happy that you're here and taking over the farm. The last few months have been a challenge. I tell you that. Walter is getting older. He's tired and had deep wrinkles on his forehead before you arrived, even deeper than usual. And I'm not getting younger either. I avoid movement at all costs to protect my joints. However, since it was set in stone that you'd take over, his mood instantly turned around. Tell me, are you nervous about taking over?
Oh, jeez. Some of these things are funny. I have not talked to these people at all. I've been saving it for this video.
Sure you will. No doubt about it. I remember my first day at the farm. I felt like a newborn calf, stumbling around aimlessly. But don't worry, we'll get you up to speed. This place may seem big and intimidating at first, but that's normal.
Let's do this one.
Well, since your grandfather slowed down, he didn't really bother with the latest machines and did a lot of stuff, well, in an old school kind of way. That's probably why he sent you to me. I'm an avid reader of all those agricultural magazines, you know? Old, but still learning. However, if you need advice on livestock or forestry, you should talk to Katie and Noah, the local animal farmer and lumberjack. If you come to me, I can help you make sure everything grows well in the fields. As your grandpa always says, a watched crop never fails. Except if a twister hits. Happens. Whenever you need me, kid. See ya.
Alright, who are we going to next? Anyone down here? That's Katie. Let's go talk to Katie.
Oh, hi. You're Walter's grandkid, aren't you? I'm Katie. Nice to meet you. Let me welcome you to our small town. As I just said, I'm Katie. I took over my parents' farm 4 years ago, continuing the family business after traveling the world as one does. But I'll tell you all about that another time. So what can I do for you? That's good. I specialize in livestock. We got chickens, cows, sheep, pigs, horses, even bees. Also our recent additions, goats and water buffaloes. It's quite an eclectic ensemble of creatures, if I can say so myself. If you want to dip your toes into animal husbandry, come to me. I'm not only dealing with the livestock, I can also give you important advice. I've been working with animals all my life, you see. Even when traveling the world, I occupied myself with the local fauna. And I collected some stories on the way, if you're interested sometime. That and some myths and legends. Maybe I should start a podcast. Anyway, I'm sure you and I have got stuff to do, animals to feed, and so on. So don't let me keep you. I'm sure we'll have time to talk again. Hey, buddy. Nice to see you.
Alright. I'm not sure. I need help with animal husbandry. Let's see what this is.
Asking about animals. You found the right person. Where do you have issues?
I think we're gonna go do this twice. We're gonna go the goats and water buffalo. Okay.
Feeding goats is quite simple. They like hay or grass. That's it. Just unload it at the feeding area of your barn or pasture. If you are growing grass on your fields, you can feed them fresh grass during the summer. And for the cold winter months, you can use hay. Goats are quite rewarding animals to keep. They produce goat milk. Oh, and they are very fluffy. Goats need a pasture or a barn. Choose the size of the housing, depending on how much you'd like to spend and how many goats you want to keep. You need to deliver fresh water to your goat pasture, as it has no access to water. So after placing one of the pastures or barns, you can shape the area of the outdoor enclosure. If you need slurry or manure, you can keep pigs or cows, as goats don't produce any. Like I said, you definitely want a pasture or barn, as you don't want those hungry fellows to decimate your hard work. First, you get yourself a tractor with a front loader attachment and a bale spike to deliver bales to the barn, as you need those to feed your woolly friends. If you got yourself a goat pasture, you need a tank for refilling the watering place. If you don't want to use my delivery service, you should buy a transporter. If you buy a large one, you might need a dolly to use it with a tractor. Otherwise, you need a truck. Should you choose to process your milk into dairy products, you'll need a tank for transportation. That is all. It doesn't sound so bad,
Oh my
right?
gosh, are you kidding me? Alright, let's do water buffalo.
You can feed your water buffaloes with grass, hay, or TMR. To keep your water buffaloes healthy and increase productivity, you shouldn't only feed them hay or grass. I've had the best results with TMR. If your farm relies heavily on milk production, especially in winter, you should always prepare enough quality food for them so they can be as productive as possible. Water buffaloes, like all your animals, need a pasture or barn, depending on how much you'd like to spend and how many water buffaloes you want to keep. If you want to produce slurry or manure, you need at least a cow barn to collect it. You need to deliver fresh water to your pasture, as it has no access to water. After placing one of the pastures or barns, you can shape the area of the outdoor enclosure. Water buffaloes are mainly used to produce milk. They start producing it at the age of 18 months. You can, of course, also keep them for breeding and selling for a profit. Reproduction also begins at the age of 18 months. Well, you definitely want a pasture or barn. Water buffaloes on your fields are not good for your yield. If you have laid straw in the barn, the water buffaloes will produce manure, and that must be stored. Get yourself a manure heap. Water buffaloes produce slurry too. It's collected in the liquid manure tank. If you want to spread manure and slurry on your fields, you need to buy a spreader and tank for each of the brown goods. Get yourself a tractor with a front loader attachment and a bale spike to deliver bales to the barn, as you need those to feed the water buffaloes. Then you should get yourself a tank to transport milk and water.
Alright, we will go over the rest of these when we go into more detail on each animal. But for now, that is it. Let's see who else we can talk to. Who's this? Noah. Let's go talk to Noah.
I don't know you. Let's change that. My name is Noah. I am a 45-year-old male. My hair is red. I like licorice and walking through the woods. I prefer coniferous trees to deciduous trees.
Okay. Alright, tell me more.
You want to know more? Then I will comply with your request. Well, my father Harold is a retired carpenter. He built a successful carpentry business focused on chairs. He did many other things as well, but chairs were his favorite. That's why he called his carpentry company
Oh my god.
Charismatic Woodwork. Yes, exactly. A pun as a company name. That's him, a jokester through and through, and he always wanted me to step into his shoes. But as you grow up, you start to develop your own interests, and do not necessarily share a knack for unnecessary amounts of wordplay. I'd rather provide the raw wood itself. That's why I'm a lumberjack, doing the lumbering. There are so many factors to keep in mind before you can even start thinking about carving something after the wood harvest. Type of wood, its quality, age, moisture levels. Being a lumberjack, I start the process even earlier than the usual wood carver. I plant the trees. I have to think about the quality of the soil, the climate, the forest composition, etc. Tending to trees is akin to conducting an orchestra. Achieving harmony is essential to creating a symphony of beauty in every little masterpiece. I am the conductor. My family is just playing some out-of-tune trumpets, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's not very nice.
I profusely apologize if this is perceived as hostile. They are good people. Skilled, but I think puns and basswood are holding them back. To continue the story, however, lucky me, my sister Melissa took over his workshop. She is quite the skilled carpenter. Always wanted to work in his wood shop, and so our father granted her wish. I never really got into carpentry the way my father and sister did, but I do in fact like carving wooden figurines. Both my sister and I have a talent for wood carving. The moment we were able to handle a wood carving knife, we were competing to carve the most elaborate figurines. It's still up for debate which of us is more proficient at wood carving. She primarily uses basswood. If you ask me, that's enough to end the debate right here. She used to live in Silver Run Forest. Her figurines are quite popular over there. She still holds that over my
Yeah, we're
head.
gonna go ahead and go with this first one.
I think a lot of words were said now. As I have to proceed with my business, I wish you farewell.
Alright, let's see who else we have. Think we have at least one more? That's Katie. Yes, we have David.
Hey there, neighbor. If it is not nice to meet you, I don't know what is. I'm David. Call me Dave if you want to. Don't have to. I'm happy with either. Welcome to the neighborhood. Saw you moving in the other day. I'm new here too. I came here almost 2 years ago, so I'm still a newbie in the eyes of the townfolk, and probably will be for a long time. Especially since I don't have a farming background and came from the city. Did something completely different before. What brings you here, buddy? Pops is your grandpa? Awesome. I love him. I think we're gonna be on good terms, friend. Let's talk some more and get to know each other when you're settled in. I bet we can help each other out here and there. I'll definitely tell you about all the mistakes I made so far, hoping you don't hear about them from the others first, if it's not too late. But more importantly, so you don't make the same mistakes. Let your grandpa be disappointed in me instead of you. Also, you want to avoid tauntingly being stared at by our local lumberjack, Noah. I swear his sharp stare while shaking his head can fell a tree. So, feel free to come by and chat me up anytime, buddy. I'll take some time for you. If I don't, I'm busy. But that doesn't mean I don't love you anymore. Got it? Already do.
Alright. I think that's all of them. We'll take a look. Make sure I didn't miss anyone here. It's Noah. Yep, that looks to be all of them. I know we didn't go over everything, all the possible conversations with all of them. This video would have been much longer. I hope this gives you a good baseline. We will be talking to Katie more in future videos. That gives you an idea, though. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I will see you all in the next one. Later.